Hello, St. Barnabas family. I hope this finds you well. I would like to talk to you today about a couple of things, about power and about powerlessness. And to do that, I want to tell you a story from my own life that happened like way back when I was in high school. One summer, I went to North Carolina to work at a resort there. And my job was washing dishes, but I also worked in the stable with the horses. And one night, a couple of friends and I had the brilliant idea to take out some of the horses in the middle of the night. Now you can already tell that this story was going to end very badly for me. But we did. We took those horses out. We ran them on the golf course in the middle of the night. It was the funnest, most exhilarating. Just, you felt like you were king of the world riding those horses, just fast, fast, fast. Finally, we had enough and we had to go back to the stable. And to get there, we had to cut through a forested area. And going through the trees, my knee came off of the saddle just a little bit, but it was enough to catch a tree. And when my knee caught that tree, it stopped my body and the horse just ran right out from under me. And it was kind of like Wile E. Coyote. I was hanging there in the air, waiting to fall to the ground. And I had this recognition in my little high school mind. The horse was the power. I had no power and I was about to hit the ground, and that's what happened. And I tell you this story because during our lives we hitch ourselves to different types of power. You could hitch yourself to the markets. That's a power. You could hitch yourself to real estate. You could hitch yourself to your vocation, your job. There are many powers that we hitch ourselves to, and what happens is those powers disappoint us. They leave us. They run out, or they run away from us, literally, like what happened to me, and we are left powerless. And I think right now all of us are experiencing varying degrees of powerlessness. Powers that we have ridden and counted on have deserted us, and we've made that fall to the earth. But powerlessness can be a wonderful place to operate from. It's painful, but allows us to try and open ourselves to new forms of power. And I'm talking about the power of God. Sometimes we don't go towards the power of God because we think we've got the power. But when we're powerless, we say, I'm going to give God a shot. What do I have to lose? Now, God's power is kind of different than worldly power. Not kind of, it is different than worldly power. You know, when people would ask Jesus what God was like, he would say, well, what I'm like is what God is like. What was Jesus like? He was loving. He was forgiving. He was filled with grace. He had a peace about him. So that is what God's power is like. That's how God's power manifests itself in our world. By peace, by love, by forgiveness, by grace. And when we allow ourselves to be held in that power, the power of God that we know through Jesus, when we allow ourselves to be held in that way, there are no seasons, there are no temporary power outages. It is the supreme power, and it is forever, and it is all time. And so may we, in this time of great powerlessness, may we find the power of God. Amen.